promises you've made to God, maybe any obligations that you've committed to that you're having trouble, following through on. Maybe you've said, maybe earlier this year you said you're going to read the Bible every day, and or you're going to pray more often, or you're going to serve in the children's ministry, or as a first impressions greeter at your church, or something you said you're going to do. Maybe just show up at church. You made an obligation, and it could be bigger, it could be littler, but you're having some challenge with it. Now, this week we're looking at a woman named Hannah, and she made an obligation to God. She told God, God, if you will allow me to have a child, remember she'd been barren for her entire life, if you'll allow me to have a child, I will give that child to God to be raised as a priest. And at the end of 1 Samuel chapter 1, the child is old enough to be weaned, possibly up to 3 years old in that culture. And it says in the last verse, 1 Samuel chapter 1, verse 28, so now I give him to the Lord, for his whole life he will be given over to the Lord. And so she's going to be able to see him occasionally. She'll be able to come and visit him at the holy place where he lives. She'll be able to check on him once a year or so. But she gave him over to the Lord. She followed through on her obligations. And this may seem like a stretch, but isn't it odd that people make huge obligations to God, that they'll do these amazing things and they follow through, and we sometimes have trouble with the itty-bitty ones? We have trouble opening our Bible or pulling up our Bible on our phone once a day. We have trouble praying on a regular basis. We have trouble serving in a ministry where we're not having to work that hard, or even if we are, so what? We're not giving a baby over to God. Is there an obligation you stopped following through on? Is there a promise you made to God that you've stopped keeping? Maybe let Hannah inspire you and get back to doing what you promised you'd do. And that's today's Jumpstart.